Both of them look like they need something to bring it together. Slaughter Gangs looks like it's the stronger draft to me so far, but I feel like AU Rejects are cooking something, and it's a Windy Ursa lurking on the side. In comes Axe with a phenomenal call. Down goes the SD and down goes the Tiny immediately. Huncho gets a stun off in return, and doesn't have time to get his ult off. The Morphling doing what he can to put some damage on, but he... And the bottom of the ditch is because of his Aghanim Scepter, right? Like, that's what makes this hero so strong. And I see he's got the Halberd queued up. I get it, you're against an Ursa. But like... Slaughter Gang did? Or are you going to come up with another wild pick that's a little bit unpredictable, a little bit spicy?
So I think both teams are going to mix up the drafting here.
Doesn't get caught or doesn't.
He's got a big one. He's not too afraid. I have been seeing a lot of pros do the Ring of Health build on the Ursa. Very, very nice, I think. It keeps you really...
And that's the thing, is this magical damage that's coming out from Radiant is enormous, right? Like, it's a lot of magical damage. But that's the thing with magical damage, is it does eventually start to drop off. Once you start to see Pipes, Eternal Shroud. The Halberd is how many seconds?
Gets caught out bottom.
He was just lurking around for the ages. But the Halberd, I'm sure it disarms him if he doesn't have BKB, but how many times is Ursa...
We get a blink toss back, and then kill the guy outright. Otherwise, he's just not gonna die. Johnny loses his courier. That was his full butterfly. He will not be getting 3 minutes. That's like
It's on his Rubik, one of the boys of Dog. It's interesting to see that they do put a lot of value on these comfort heroes, because we're seeing that reflect in the pro scene, right? You've got players, really dominant players like Amar, so much to keep its POS 1 alive in lane, keep the POS 4 busy, so I prefer to see it as a 5, especially if there's a Venji in the game. Now this Ursa has also shot up in the meta at the moment, right? He needs to be careful here. He gets the stun out in return, but it looks like there is some dust on top of that big space cow, and in just a moment we'll see a dunk on top of Huncho. RFA can't save him from that one.
The Dagon car. Huncho is edging towards his first item in a long time here.
You know, when they first changed this Dagon,
the banner on bottom can be broken fundamentally sometimes, but the Aghanims is always like, it's a known quantity, right? It's like a 7,000 gold item, just about. Or is it 60? Sorry,
42. 42.
No. Oh, well, we're in.
Look at that, and we have a draft. Straight away, and we got a look at that beautiful, stunning, right? Like, I was such a strong hero. They're feeling around. RFA getting a bit cheeky. Gubala chosen the creep. Oh, in comes that huge Mars arena, and the Tiny elects to blink into the arena, which is much in these team fights. BKB pissing stuns. They need to deal with him as fast as they can. Gubala goes in, whiffs the call, and Huncho is just out of there, but Zeus is still on the sideline and doing a whole bunch of damage. This time Rev comes in, and he doesn't get dunked because the dunk has been wasted on someone else. Huncho, call, axe call, and down goes the Sand King and the Shadow Demon almost immediately. This Venji needs to be careful. There's the Refresher Orb coming out to get the Tombstone down to give the vision for Team Radiant. They are thinking about it.
This is a Midas Spirit Breaker as well. We haven't commented on it yet, but because of the Spirit Breaker facet, you can just see how much they're winning out on EXP on Dire. Even with all...
Fat Bear underneath their tier 3, but they sort of have enough to deal with him. He pops his BKB and just wants to pour it out of there, but now Zeus and Winxing need to be careful because the rest of the team is going to be running after them. No vision.
But here's
Axe lurking on the side. I get it.
They just don't know the Roche is happening on Dire. They could honestly contest with, like, the fact there's only 2 heroes from Radiant in the pit, or even nearby. They're just so spread out, farming...
It's its place. And I don't want to give anyone in my chat the wrong ideas. Please don't start buying Dagon on Axe in my pubs. But it's working, you know? It's working this game.
I agree. Or mid laner are they going to choose to prioritize here? And then just see how... Because obviously Slaughter Gang's going to take the last pick for Huncho again, and give him the best matchup possible.
And there's not enough. The 2 stacks is going to be enough. There we go.
48.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
So just briefly, with Shadow Demon's Promulgate, it stacks for all damage incoming, and the bear goes down. So at least they take something. Huge streak goes the way of the Vengeful Spirit. All right. They have the invis on the young Herald. They're setting up. King is chasing that Zeus. He's chasing
kills at least, right?
And we did see the Shadow Demon having the impact that we expected it to have, and where it was like saving this Morphling, we did have the swaps from Johnny to keep.
Just because of the Oz split up and farm mentality, gets you so many free kills. It just makes the game harder to play for a lot of players. And all you need to do is really catch them out.
See draft from Radiant. To me, I'm seeing Radiant here with a really oddball draft that they're not going to draft these heroes unless they think they work together, and they might be cooking right game so far.
Okay, so
wait, hold up. Did they just catch the? They just caught the Necro.
Necro's dead. He bought travels. I hate it when ball players do this. He gets.
That is a spicy little start. Gachi, stun comes out onto him. He needs to be a little bit careful, but Wing Xing is here now on that Undying, and it's in his name. He'll make sure Gachi. For 4 times now? For 3 or 4 times? He's not...
I think that's the one.
Yeah, he's not as far behind as he should be. You know, it's still 1,000. Oh,
Morphling 1, there it is. Yeah. That's another Reverie hero. He's getting 1v9 on this shit.
People take this Shadow Demon, they often put it as a pos 4 because of its ability to stack, right? It can stack both of the Ancient Spirit Breaker, ulting back up into the high ground, and there's the route we were looking for. Toss to try and get that big, angry troll off of him, but I don't think he's going anywhere. Young Harold goes down. But it looks like Invoker's rotating in. Strikes me as the time in the game that the Necro might need to start getting involved, because I'm worried. I know that it needs the farm to sort of start to have an impact. No, he's going to pull it out.
He's in the area.
Okay,
he gets out.
Smart man.
If they knew exactly where he was, they would Zeus holding him. He was just dead. Sorry, yeah. So with the these random kills where the supports get a bunch out of it. The lowest level on Dire is 11, and the lowest level on Radiant is 8. 2 level 8 heroes compared to 2 level 11s. And the troll's just like yeah, it's just...
Troll has his 6, and Gubala is a little bit far forward. The power shot misses, but the Troll is still on top of Gubala. They bring all the boys once again. The stun comes out, Shackle to try and keep that Troll off of him, but it doesn't really... They're going to get stunned in your Sandstorm, you know? Is it going to outrank? Hang on, hold on. They've got Johnny again, and he's been Spirit Breaker dolled back onto the high ground. He gets the swap to try and get away. Hunter's here with the Shiva. So this is fantastic. If someone dies close to him, he gets an illusion of the hero that has died close. So it can be enough to give you the damage that you need in a fight, but usually...
So George does have the Eternal Shroud now, but I don't know.
There's a bear in the tree here, guys. There's a bear, and it wants you. It's lurking. Ooh, big nuke comes out from the Zeus, and the bear is immediately...
I do look like an idiot, but it's really hard to predict, because they're doing some silly stuff as well.
Yeah, I can't predict it either, so don't you worry.
Yeah, Evoker mid, pos 1 troll, and...
They know Axe is bottom. Do they try something?
They do have vision on Dire. Okay, goes for
looks like back into the tower. She gets the scatter shot off so that she can sort of slip away there, but she still is very low, and Rubik has a fair bit of right-click damage. Down goes Gubala to the Rubik's. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Really unfortunate.
Here comes
Io.
Io.
Started that whole thing, and
That's very exciting for me. I'm pretty
I
stoked to see
think
you in
they're still
Evoker.
discussing on Radiant. I think they're still discussing what they're going to do here. Only winching is like obviously winching Io was guaranteed. God, it's so obnoxious, man. Why does
But
he keep move speed?
something that I just want to point out before this game gets on the roll, because this won't come across on stream, is Diadem too. It felt like they were on the back foot the entire game. And we saw how good these players can play. We saw how strong they were in the first game. Slaughter Gang absolutely killed it. And yet all of a sudden, three heroes. Is it Slaughter Gang that you're more familiar with, or do you know both the stacks quite well?
I know both stacks quite well, and the next game is just going up, I think.
Already,
I don't know.
Jesus. He just gives him the stun
Good
and
Burrow
gets on out of there.
Strike. Good Burrow Strike. Again, the Shadow Demon is just following the Axe around as the Axe trying to backlane. To no avail, honestly. He's not getting a
I'd lied, and I think Johnny's in a whole lot of trouble as that Axe is trying to blink and dunk. Gets the Battle Hunger off, and there's the dunk.
Oh. RFA needs to be a...
See how we go. Is he lagging, or has he just got alcohol in his system?
Rev's had a beer. So Reverie has been hitting the beers in the mid-game, like between matches and during the break, where it follows you around. Because
I can answer that one. For once, I can answer that one because in the pro scene, they're deciding to they just value the invisibility more. And once you've got the blood,
there's not really too much you can do melee into ranged, and being so mana sensitive that the EMP just screws him over, unfortunately.
So do we? Oh, hang on, Troll taking a bit of damage there. Oh, looks like a Bala is thrown.
Guarantee you is watching just about every game of Riyadh in some way, shape, or form, and we're all definitely taking like our lessons from that. What we can use, what we can't use, what we cheese strats we can learn, stuff like that. You know.
Chasing, and the Morphling gets the kill, and that is a holy shit. That is a lot of gold that goes away the Morphling, and you don't want to be feeding the
That's
Morphling.
That's another 1800. That's
let it sit there and not get casted. So here I am once again to yell into your ears. And this time, I'll be yelling into White Glint's ears. White Glint, do you want to say hello? Maticus calls the Whirling Axis, and Kabbalah is gone. Doesn't even need to pop
not
the
getting
ult.
To the start he wanted this game. He definitely wanted to be doing a bit better than where he is now.
And maybe I'm wrong. But what I was going to say is that you see a lot of this in Australia, the respect that comes out, the, hey, this hero, we know what you can do in it, and we're not giving it to you. Even in the intermediate division, I've been casting a bit of that. A perfect example. So much trouble this entire game, but are they holding? There's two heroes here and a Spirit that might want to deal with Gachi, but no. Down goes the Sand King. Sand King does have buyback. There is that knockback from the Moon Cow once. Oh.
This is some good Dota, hey. This is what I was hoping for from one of these games.
This is what you were telling me was going to happen. After the first game, I was...
Young Harold just farming up, doing what he's supposed to do. Doesn't matter if he gets, like... He's not pressured to do anything early, right? He's just got to take his time, farm it up.
What's this tri-lane bottom favoring here? It looks like some really interesting matchups and some straight...
There's a lot of comfort going around here. Okay, I honestly say I slightly favor the Dire here, because when Hankun and Gooby is just like... Yeah, you're never going to do it. Those players are well renowned for their ability to troll on Monkey King.
Jeez, these teams draft fast though. It seems
know
like
each other. Brawlhalla, my dreams are answered.
This is what we want to see. This is proper Dota. It's a slobber knocker.
Oh my God,
the only downside is trying
hilarious.
to keep the camera in the right place at the right time, because there's so much action going on. Speaking,
tier list time. I think a lot of people have.
got their own. They've got their own tier list, exactly. But what I want to say is, put me in the booth. Oh, it's going to make everyone in the Dota scenes cringe. But I sometimes even elect to pick up, if I'm having a good lane, to pick up the Locket early on IO. Sometimes pre-mech. It is to this Mars with this facet, and it feels impossible as a save support. And we've got an IO game on our hands, so I really expect that to have some impact this game.
I feel like, you're not going to see many IO saves. And drop a Sandstorm with Axe. That's all he has to do. Speaking of the lanes, I think there might be a bit of action in mid this game.
RFA is now in trouble as well as he tries to run to his tower and just gets up down. Okay. Nice, young Harold. And Gachi going in bottom.
Gachi gets a kill, 2v1.
Oh, Tiny pushed off the haste and the deny comes out from RFA. Alright, RFA. Yeah, take the high five. Sorry, you were saying?
Rip Harold's.
Reverie is about to speak AB and he wants in, but all of a sudden the Mooncow is on his back line and keeping his support a whole lot busier. Oh my god, that axe call is so phenomenal! He catches 3! 1, 2, 3! Kind of something like a Storm Spirit, right? Oh, EMP goes out, EMP into Whirlwind. The charge is coming though, and Harold needs to back out as fast as he can. I don't think they'll have the damage though. Just a little bit more harassed. Let him, since I've seen anything like that. Let's go.
A charge onto Johnny top. Cal just might be a little bit short on the damage.
Yeah, on the snap as well. So, oh, looks like they've found Necro. Troll immediately on top of him. Charge comes out. Troll's gonna just start punching him as fast and hard as he can, and I think
a little bit. Tiny instant from Slaughter Gang.
Yep.
Okay. So I expected the Breaker to get banned, but I guess taking it instead of leaving it on the table is kind of like the same thing.
And it slipped out of my grasp once again with the Shadow Blade. He slinks away. Raccoon, you nerd.
Winching possibly, and he is now called a little rat. This could be good. This could be good. Reverie is also a bit tipsy potentially. He could be a lightweight. Entirely, and opting for the Eternal Shroud instead because of how much damage the toss combo does to you.
Shadow Blade on the Spirit Breaker at this stage.
It's gonna start getting out of control.
There is a Glipney.
He would have had a much closer mid game, but just having a Necro that's top net worth the entire game and still being down 2k just based off lanes is really rough.
Facets being introduced to the game is a huge change. Facet interaction with Rubik. Do you think it needs any changes? Oh, Io. Nice.
It is confusing as shit, man, if I have to be completely honest. Having to track...
Shows going in, but he's caught immediately underneath that axe from the Zeus, but they do get the toss onto the Zeus, but not the toss back. Okay, so he's just going to slip away.
He took so much damage.
Oh, did I just see a Mooncow charge again? I did see him.
Best heroes, and he's just RFA just laying down the law with this Rubik. Insane. That's definitely getting banned. You're not going to see that game here.
I mean, it's a Grandmaster hero. These comfort picks, man. They do what they do. We are having a game. Dagon Axe.
Yeah. This has been a treat to watch so far. Okay, so they will wait for Roche to go bottom and
Zeus
then get the...
alone here.
I gotta give MVP to RFA though. 13 and 3 Rubik. The only double-digit killer in this game. And he's not just kill securing either. He has second highest damage on his team.
And Hyper Cannon. And I...
Oh my god.
I love that name so much, dude. Give me more Tasmanian Hyper Cannons and less space Cal. Keep diving? No.
It nullifies a lot of the damage of the Ursa, but the Zeus still put him down to like half there.
And it's having a pretty good game. We haven't really felt Necro's impact in this early game, and I didn't really expect to see Necro have much impact, especially from position 1, right? He just wants to farm.
Yeah. See, Facet. Basically, as he gets more and more kills with his Sadist, because obviously you get 1 stack every time you kill a creep, and you get, is it 6 from a hero? And currently, I guess I should have seen the Io coming for Raccoon, but it's so hard to say, right? Because there are like so many of these players.
Ended.
Disastrous fight for Radiant.
Yep. Oh, and did I just hear
Scythe from Rubik?
A Stolen Scythe on Windranger. Okay.
Oh my god. That's 3. Away from him because the Voca doesn't even need them, I don't think. Lag. I have. Ooh.
Don't stress, I'll let you know what's going on. One thing I was going to say though is that the
he's got his Yashikaya, 2 parts of it Aghanims, he's just keen.
Looks like they don't really call this bluff, right? Like, the Sand King ult is up there, he's got an Eternal Shroud, he can live against that Zeus, but they've just been to get out of there. Oh, both of these teams are making mistakes, but both of these teams are making sick plays. This is good Dota. This is the kind of Dota that you can feel the pressure on these teams, right? Look at that Snapfire. The IO's here, decides against it. I think he makes the right play there.
Going to be no Wisdom Rune steals today. Oh, this could
draft because we've got so many good teams. We've got obviously the Pigs team with Tobbs and Mashed and Andros, Takino, super scary team with some super scary stand-ins. There's that Might. Now the supports are here to back him up. Is there anything here that they can find some traction on? The ult goes out onto the Undying, and that is a lot of damage coming out from Johnny, and down goes the Undying. Hey, Undying
fucking ignored you and just did it anyway. But what you're saying is not wrong at all. However, I definitely would say winching on the Undying it's simple. He plays simple hero.
strong in the meta, or is this just a specialist shutdown? Is this just someone saying, no, we're not going to give you what you're comfortable on. We're going to make you play something that's out of your comfort zone.
I think it could. The upper division is very healthy this season. We actually have 7 teams this time. A lot of them are relatively balanced compared to each other. We don't have there are maybe 1 or 2 teams who might end up being the favorites. Spiritbreaker will opt to charge middle for the 4-minute rune, the 2-minute rune. He won't actually play bottom very much, and unfortunately I think it's going to sack the Mars just a little bit too much here. Because the Necro's going to Necro no matter what. You can't actually...
but 27 is still really fast for this... this division, especially when you think you can find a way in, but I just don't think that Necro was ever going to... 17 minutes, White Glint. 13k at 18 minutes. Holy... Let's go, Reject. Show them how it's done.
I don't really have... So I guess we'll just have to see how it goes down altogether. And to circle back to Rubik, I don't know why they decided to make him gain AoE with spell.
Zeus. That is such...
43 on winching as well. That's very impressive.
Wow-wee, what a game! What an absolute game. Nuts.
It doesn't show...
I mean, he is on Team Spirit, arguably one of the best teams in the entire world, so let's see if Huncho can replicate the big Lalal plays, dude. So, which team are you from?
One of the oldest players.
Did you after last night, because I did shout it out on stream, have you signed my petition to have Hoodwink removed from the game? And everyone out there in Twitch chat, I do have the petition up, so please go and get that hero.
Mars response probably for Johnny Sins.
So these guys have done their research on each other then. What I saw then was an IO pick. Obviously, IO, one of my favorite heroes, one of the best heroes in the game. Even the
player. You need your science, you need your RFA, you need the man who can really cook with Rubik. And you need good steals. So when you look at a lot of the meta heroes,
so
he even got a Rampage this game.
Yeah.
He got it a Rampage at one point.
Yeah. Alright. Well, Happy Goob absolutely kills it. What a phenomenal game of Dota.
Two still open. The Venge 1-3 still open. The Shadow Demon, it's probably going to be 5. Let's be realistic. But Slaughter Gang still have so much.
Slaughter Gang side besides that Rubik at this stage.
It does give 12 armor, do not forget. 12 armor and magic resist is ballistic. Io is really, really strong, and he's probably one of the heroes' facets I like the most.
Is it going to be enough? Remember, Zeus can scout that little crab inside his sand pit. Is there any vision here for him to get the charge? There is. They're onto Johnny again, but there's the defensive disruption we were talking about. Johnny doing his best to try and get out of there, but there is a Zeus
getting bans. We got Johnny Sins, the +3 for Slaughter Gang. Second best Axe player in the entire server. Got to give him credit.
Nice, Frankie, I love Axe.
Honestly, Frankie just plays whatever. Right, it breaks the way you want to play Dota. It just doesn't work anymore.
Here he goes.
Smoke Tiny is getting a lot of like push bottom, but the cow
Hancho,
just like
you need to be
zooms
careful
in
because
and
your
just-
teleport just got interrupted, and you did. But they're starting to feel him out. They've got vision on him, and the Invoker's
setting up.
rotating
They have
over.
ward.
Mars is here. The slow comes out.
Every
Big zap from the Rubik. He throws off his Ghost Shroud, but then the stun comes out immediately from the
Gang's favor, because I will say Radiant's buying a couple silly items if you ask me. Like the Dagon been practical. This Axe needs a BKB Shiva's refresher. He needs these types of items to get a game.
Maybe they thought they could play into it. I watched your game a couple of days ago where you decided to just take the gyro into the Shadow Fiend. You didn't seem to care too much about it. Maybe they don't respect it either.
Raccoon is a massive like troll in pubs, and he'll just like drop a Broodmother randomly. There's the RFA Rubik respect bans as expected. I do think they will ban Io here. I don't see them letting
Name right now. What's the fish? Naga. Like we see Naga pushing out pushing out with illusions. We see your Terrorblade
He
pushing
almost
out with
got caught by
illusions.
Spirit Breaker there. Oh no, he's gonna try sneak Roche, and he's gonna get clipped here, I think. Alright, so on Slaughter Gang, we got Huncho George. He's well renowned with a lot of his mid laners. I have a feeling his Snapfire might see some action tonight, maybe some bans. RF excels when he can get that one spell off that hero and then make it do a one shot on another hero.
And tell me, what do you think about the way that the facets, obviously, Gabala on the edge there trying to deal with the Vengeful Spirit.
Reverie escapes in the back
Oh,
line.
looks like Raccoon is going to charge in, and all of a sudden that Vengeful Spirit might be in a little bit of trouble and is dead. Run, Johnny. There's still a full team.
Fire, which means as he levels up Little Shredder, he will be taking all the Little Shredder talents, and he'll be buying like a Maelstrom or a Gleipnir of some description, getting all these procs out. Tiny did take the crash landing, so he'll be pumping the toss.
But they didn't deal with the bear, and there's that beautiful save from RFA, but it might not be enough to save the Venji. She's slipping out in the back. She's got to deal with the zombie. She doesn't deal with the zombies, and now she's dead. They're playing with fire here. This is a Morphling.
They're just BMing them at this point. Taunting Reverie in the fountain, knowing his team doesn't
my
have
lord, he gets a bash, but now Gachi's pinned in the corner.
The Spirit Breaker has just been the MVP of both these games, I think.
Prey caught out of position once again, charged and deleted by that Spirit Breaker. Reverie, you're juggling it against 3 heroes here. The rest of the team isn't with him.
Because it just makes some spells absolutely busted. Like, imagine having a toss that does its damage in like a 700 AoE, and then Rubik just has that. For some reason.
I had a player in my stack today telling me about a Rubik that had, I think he said, rot better and better and better. We've got Team Dogcage. Australian Painters, AU Rejects, like these are some awesome teams this season.
Yeah.
Coming up on Young Harold as well. You got 20 coming up on Axe. Meanwhile, this poor Morphling is 15, and the rest of his team are even lower than that. So I haven't
seen a Shadow Demon very much. I do think it's one of the. I think it's like a timeless hero. If I had to,
it's just so
put
good.
It down.
It just does so much. It does so much.
Just be because of what the players play here. Like, obviously, you don't see a lot of Axe at Riyadh, but you see a lot of the Willow and the Hoodwink that kind of prevents it, and the Underlord where...
There's the stun from Spirit Breaker. He decides to use his ult to push him further out of position. The whole team is there and trying to kill Gachi, but he does have the support of the Io, and the Io will give him some pretty big sustain if he sticks close to him.
He's not dying just yet.
Gives that to Zeus? Yep.
So I think the most important thing to check is to swap to net worths here and look at the net worth here.
Oh, hang on, Gavala
Zeus is winning.
has been found by the Morphling, but he is pretty thick. Looks like he's just... Big
Double man
whirlwind
tornado.
EMP to try and get the mana out of Gachi, but Gachi decides to use his shard. He does have his shard now to just reposition himself. Rod comes out from the Windrunner, and do
Okay, so that
something
really
about this
throws
tiny hero, Dota.
that throws a bit of a spanner in the works for AU Rejects. They need to get this Roche while it's top, so they can continue to push like the map.
Spirit Breaker, but then he can't save his core, who gets caught a few seconds later. So I'd like to see.
Hear me out.
Yep, go ahead.
If this game goes another 10 minutes, it could start to swing back towards Slaughter. You'll find a way to do something with nothing.
It's just such a beautiful engagement there, the way they sort of were able to initiate and bring that IO to the fight. And this is the power. This is the power of IO.
It wasn't that fight, but it was actually the fight before where, yet again, Reverie was randomly... Like, they were trying to randomly go on Reverie as they were going on mid, and there was 2 fights happening for, like, the 30th time this match, where people are just like, everything you've said is correct, as well as it's giving him the Linken's break, right? Morphling bought the Linken's so that he doesn't get dunked. The Dagon, even if it's a level 1 Dagon, cuts through the Linken's and then opens him up to being cold. And
we've got Gachi on Necrophos, Young Harold on Tiny, Gabala on Snapfire, Winxing on IO, Raccoon on Windranger, Huncho George on Invoker. Yeah, no, the bear has an enormous amount of damage. Save comes out from our Shadow Demon. Is it enough for him to get to the high ground? It is. And that is why Shadow Demon is the best hero in Dota. Not enough, though, because
no bash.
Hang on. I thought this game was looking like it was going to wrap up very shortly, but Slaughter Gang are